Okay, there's your recipe. You can pause that and write it down. There's quite a lot there though. This is a very involved recipe, but delicious. Okay, bouillabaisse. Don't get upset, anyone, any pedants out there that say, oh, you're using not quite the right selection of fish that classically was used down in Marseille. Look, this is what fishermen used to use, all their leftover bits of fish that they couldn't even sell. What I'm using is, these are raw king prawns or tiger prawns. I'm taking off the heads, then taking off the shells. The heads and the shells are going to go in the wonderful stock base along with the fish bones, so don't throw any of that away. I'm not going to show you the whole process of this. This is a sea bream. Well, what I'll do is I'll put in the description a link to a video I did recently where I showed you how to prepare a whole sea bass. But what you can do if you want to save time is get your fishmonger to do all of this for you, but make sure they give you all the bones and all the trimmings, because you need that for the soup base. It's going to be lovely. So that fish now has been scaled and gutted and had its fins removed. I'm going to take off the head now, like this. Don't throw that away. There's a lot of flavour in there. Just taking off the fillets. I was racing through this really, because I'm not serving these fillets as I would do if it was a dish in a restaurant. I'm actually going to skin them and everything and chop up the flesh, so I wasn't being quite as pedantic as I normally might be. Don't waste any of the frame there though. I've got all those bits of fish bones in a bowl by the side along with the prawn heads. So take off the skin. This is an interesting technique. You've got to just make a slight start. You angle your knife ever so slightly downwards and you hold onto the skin, sort of put it towards you and wiggle the knife forwards. There you go, just showing you with the other one. If you angle the knife too far down, you'll just cut through the skin. But if you don't angle it down, what you'll do is you'll leave a lot of fish on the skin, and you don't want to do that. I'm taking out the pin bones now with my tweezers. Again, ask your fishmonger to do all this for you. I just thought you might like to see me do all of it, and you might appreciate all the effort I've put into this for you. I'm just tidying up now any bits we don't want. So these bits of fish are going to be finished off at the last minute almost when we serve the soup. So just choose a size that you'd be happy for it to fit on your spoon. Okay, I've got a place here. That's I didn't get the frame, but it was already filleted, but that's the top and the bottom. I'm just describing to you there how it would be. That's the camouflage. That is the line down the middle. We're going to cut through that. So we're going to separate these two sides into 4 individual fillets. Much easier to skin them that way. Just changed my angle. Easier for you to see. So here we go, skinning fish again. The same technique, just make a start. Wiggle the skin towards you. And then you have one fillet less the skin. And the reason why I'm editing this so much is when I first looked at how long this video was, it was over 40 minutes long. And I know you like me, but I don't think anyone wants to watch me cooking for 40 minutes. So heavily edited. But hopefully you'll see everything that I'm doing. That's the last of the place fillets being skinned. And now I'm also going to cut those up into nice little couple of inch dice, something like that. I've got some squid. Just taking out the tentacles. I did actually use them up when I served this for my family, but at the end of this video I just warm up one portion without the tentacles. But you could just cut those in half lengthways, but you won't see those again in this video. What I'm doing with the tails here, just cutting them into rings, that's calamari. Right, the prawns that we've peeled, I'm going to devein them. I do recommend you do this. It's one of those jobs that's like, oh, it's a bit of a faff. But people will appreciate it when they don't see that pretty gross bit of vein, which has got all sorts of, you know, in it. So, take your time. I'm just making a small incision along the back and taking it out with a knife. If you've seen me do prawns before, you've seen me cut them all the way through, and that's easier if you do that to get all the bits out. But my lady, she told me she didn't like it when I do that, so alright boss, we'll do it your way. So I've got lots of mussels for the next day when my family have this, but just for now I'm taking a few, put them in a bit of cold water just for a couple of minutes. What that will do is, if they've opened up a little bit in the fridge, that will close them again. If they don't close, throw them away. That's just showing you the vegetables that I have prepared for the base. And here we go. As I say, this is a very involved dish. If you're going to do this, do all this work the day before. Oh, that's some fennel seeds that I almost forgot to put in. Do all this the day before, and then you've got it ready to go, and all you do is put it in a pan, warm it up, and drop the fish in. It's prepped, saving you lots of time. But yeah, this is involved. It's going to take you a good 2 to 3 hours to do this. Alright, got some cheap vermouth, drinkable. In fact, I finished it off yesterday. Mixed a little bit with some vodka, you got a martini. Delicious. So that's about half a bottle of vermouth, about half a bottle of white wine. Drinkable but cheap. Don't spend a lot of money on booze for this. That was 1 tin of chopped tomatoes, and that is 1 tablespoon approximately of tomato puree, or tomato paste, however you want to say it. So that is all of the delicious looking fish bones and prawn heads and shells. And then what I did is I just wanted to top this up. That is going to simmer for a good hour or so. Alright, and you can top it up with water as you go along if it's boiling low. Don't have this boiling fast, a simmer. And then I decided to take out the skin. I thought, no, it's not going to do anything for this. So I picked out the bits of skin that were in there. And then I looked behind me, and there I saw the saffron. I thought, oh, I forgot to put the saffron in. So there's a good few strands, maybe 10 or so strands of saffron going in. That really does help the flavour, and it gives a little golden edge to it. It's very nice stuff. You don't have to have it, it's not absolutely essential. So there you go, that's about an hour later. A lot of flavour in there. And here we go. I hope you've got a good blender. You can use a liquidizer as well. Just hot soup in a liquidizer. Make sure that lid is on incredibly firmly before you switch it on. Otherwise, you'll be wearing a very hot soup and it will be uncomfortable. So blitz that as much as you can. And I'm going to use my 2 strainer method here. I've got the larger conical strainer that sits inside the finer mesh one. That helps. The larger holes take out the majority of the bits, and then the fine mesh sieve gets rid of all the other bits. And I do recommend getting one of these conical strainers because they're hardy, they're tough, I can get my ladle in there now and I can really squash and squish all the bits out, getting as much of the beautiful stock as I can, you see. If I was using a regular sieve, the one you'd use for sifting flour, it'd be broken by now. Now, you may have noticed there's a boxing match going on there. That's Lewis Ritson. I didn't realise that was in the shot. It's very unprofessional of me. I do apologise. But, you know, when I'm cooking, I like to enjoy myself. And he was on his comeback. He lost his last fight. And so he did well there. Good lad. He's a Geordie boy. Anyway, back to the food. Concentrate on the food. Try not to watch the boxing. It's very distracting. Get all of the bits out from the fine one. Get rid of those bits. And then repeat. It's worth taking your time over it. And if you think it looks unpleasant, it does really. But when it's finished, it will not, I promise you. Absolutely lovely. But that doesn't look very nice. But, you know, that's what you got to do. You got to make a really delicious soup. And here we go. So it's all been passed. That is one portion in a smaller saucepan, just to the simmer. Now this is really important. Don't boil it. Just simmer. A gentle simmer. Because if you cook the fish too fast like that in boiling liquid, they'll get all tough and it won't be all lovely and soft. And you want it to be nice and tender. And it's going to take no more than, say, 3 to 4 minutes to cook the fish. I started off with the white fish and the calamari. I wait about a minute and then I pop the mussels in. And the prawns. And the good thing about this is you can see when it's all done. The mussels will open fully. If they don't open, throw them away. And the prawns will go pink. And that other fish will be ready, you know, anyway. So it's actually quite easy to do, really. Gorgeous. If you want to thicken this, you can do it. You can add a bit of corn flour to it if you want. I was quite happy with it. I like mine loose. So let's arrange this. What you see in that little pot by the side of it is a roux. I'm going to do a separate video coming soon to show you how I made that. This video is going to be far too long if I kept that in it. But effectively, it's sort of like a roasted red pepper and chili mayonnaise. Very nice. Very classic to go with bouillabaisse. It's not really bouillabaisse unless you have the roux with some toast or croutons. Bit of tarragon there. A final season. Getting poncy now. A little bit of olive oil, that looked nice. And here we go. So I've made some croutons. I've just cut some granary toast, bread, baked them in the oven with a bit of olive oil on them until they're crispy. Spread the roux on those and arrange them nicely on the side. And then any roux left over, just dollop it into the soup. It kind of mixes in. It might add a bit of thickening agent as well to your soup. But that doesn't necessarily look as nice as I wanted it to. But oh my god. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. Anyway, thank you very much for watching Uncle Matt's Cookery Lessons. It took a little while between my last video. I went on holiday. Went to Cyprus. It was very nice. Anyway, have a go at this if you feel like it. Let me know how you get on. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, comment and subscribe please. And I'll catch you in the next video, which is going to be roux, and it'll be coming very, very soon. I promise. Alright then. Bye.